Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. I am today's moderator, Monique Bowman, as well as the NSCAA's Communications Manager. So come January, the NSCAA will host its 2016 winter residential courses in Sunrise, Florida, and Sacramento, California. These 7 advanced courses are opportunities for coaches to fully immerse themselves in their career and their soccer coaching education and in one dedicated soccer environment. So our 4 panelists today consist of NSCAA Academy Staff instructors who you'll also meet at one of the sites in January. So with us today, we have Lisa Cole, Technical Director for Center Soccer Association, and she's instructing at the Sunrise site. We have George Perry, Commissioner of Indiana Soccer League, and he'll be instructing also at the Sunrise site. And then at the Sacramento site, you'll have Kim Sutton, head women's coach at Chico State University, and then Vince Gansberg. He's also at the Sacramento, and he's our NSCAA Education Content Coordinator. So if you have questions during our discussion today, please tweet them to us using hashtag NSCAA Live, or you can email them to marketing@nscaa.com. We'll try to address as many of them as we can as we go. So with our panelists, and we'll start with George and kind of work our way over. Let's start with a bit of a brief background about yourself, your current role in your organization, your role within the NSCAA, and then how many residential courses you've instructed.
Thank you. Currently I'm working for Indiana Soccer Association, and I am the commissioner of the Indiana Soccer League, which is the travel league that takes care of the entire state from the U10s all the way through the U18s. With the NSCAA, I've been on Academy staff, I think, since 1985. So I can't do the math well enough to tell you how many courses I've done, but it's more than 5 and less than 1,000 along those lines. But I'm in on staff, and currently I'm the immediate past president on the NSCAA Board of Directors.
Kim?
Hi everyone, I am currently the head women's soccer coach at Chico State. I've been here 15 years, and NSCAA Academy staff coach, 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. Not sure how many courses I've been teaching. I'm also the Northern California State Director, so organizing the level 1 through 6 courses in the Northern California area.
Lisa?
Yeah, I'm currently a technical director for a youth club in State College, Pennsylvania, Center Soccer, and I am on the NSCAA national staff. I've done several courses, the field player courses and the goalkeeping courses specifically, and I'm also the Advocacy Council Chair for the NSCAA.
Okay. And Vince?
Vince Gansberg, and I'm the newly appointed Education Content Coordinator for the NSCAA. And I also moonlight for a local soccer club here in Indianapolis named Indy Premier. I've been, I believe, teaching NSCAA courses since approximately 2004, 2005, on and off. I can't tell you how many I've done, but I've enjoyed them all. So.
And this question is actually for all 4 of you, and we'll start with Vince. How does the NSCAA residential course offering differ from other NSCAA courses offered?
Well, I think when you're in a residential setting, you tend to kind of network and communicate with fellow coaches, which peer learning is a big part of any coaching school or coaching course. So I think that's the big difference, is that you're kind of immersed in the environment and you're kind of brought together, and the candidates can kind of collaborate a little bit more than they can when they're not in a non-residential setting.
Lisa, or anyone who wants to add on to that?
Yeah, I just think that the best part about being at a residential course is all the people you get to connect with. I think all of us on our courses make new friends and make new connections that last throughout our coaching careers.
Kim?
Yeah, I think it's a really valuable networking opportunity, as well as 24-hour learning experience for the 7 days. But the networking that you have with the Academy staff coaches and a variety of coaches across the country that come to courses is really unique.
George, anything else to add?
Yeah, just the time for working together on evaluating what's happened during the week, and I think they learn an awful lot from each other, and certainly to sit down at meals, social times, or just down times with Academy staff and candidates is extremely valuable.
Perfect. And there are several different courses offered at each site. And if you're watching on nsca.com/live, they're listed right below this player, and you'll be able to get a little bit more of an in-depth look as to what's offered at each site. But heading into each course, Vince, we'll start with you again. Can you discuss what coaches can expect from a national diploma course?
No, well, first off, as far as the national course, it's about 40 to 45 hour course approximately, and basically some of the main objectives will be for coaches to learn how to plan a technical training session. I remember when I was a young coach, I had all these thoughts and ideas in my mind as far as what to do, but I didn't know how to organize those thoughts into making them a very productive training session. So being able to design an effective training session to give back to your players is one, and also we'll get into principles of play, but more importantly, the opportunity for them to practice coach and to basically get some feedback from one of our national staff coaches, and more importantly, to sit down with them and for that feedback to be a little bit more personal. That's kind of some of the 2 or 3 takeaways that the National Diploma will offer.
And then Kim, with the Advanced National Diploma, what can coaches expect?
Yeah, it's a 50-hour course. This course I think is particularly valuable in that it begins to work with larger numbers of players, and more specifically linking blocks of players together and how their relationship works depending on the system that you play. So it gets into some more advanced concepts, bigger numbers, and again the biggest piece being linking like a defending block with a midfield block and how they relate to one another and how they develop both sides of the ball.
And then George, the Premier.
The Premier course, 3 or 4 different days with different staff coaches who will take you from classroom setting to the field setting, kind of how they want to teach their system of play, and they talk about the pros and the cons of the various systems that they do. There's also the opportunities for different pieces on team management, team ethics, just a lot of different areas that you come up with working with the team as a whole. Very helpful.
And then Lisa, with the Advanced National Goalkeeping, Advanced National Goalkeeping.
Yeah, I think the unique thing about the Advanced National Goalkeeping is we take goalkeeping principles and really teach you how to link with the team. How do you include a goalkeeper not just in the training session with the field players, but how do you also make sure that you're training decision-making versus just the technique of coming and winning across? So putting them in situations where they've got to deal with organizing the defenders, they've got to deal with the traffic, they've got to deal with making the catch or making the save, and then what's the next best decision-making opportunity for them to get their distribution out. So it's connecting all the technical pieces of goalkeeping and putting them into a team environment, and it's really focused on the elite youth goalkeeper, the college goalkeeper, or even professional goalkeepers, and we really show them how to use video and do some other neat things that isn't included on our other courses.
And then I'll just post this to the group, and then anyone who wants to answer, you're more than welcome to. What was your experience like taking a residential course, and do you have a memory that sticks out the most? I see some smiles.
Certainly on my side, I can say that the tremendous friendships that I've developed through the courses. There are Hank Steinbrecher, Tommy Martin, Seth Rowland, different individuals that I had with courses that I've taken we still share stories about those days. It's extremely enjoyable. But the time that we would sneak away kind of and work on our lesson plans together as a group, you create your own little study groups, and then try to prepare your best sessions for the instructors was a challenge and an exciting part of it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think there's just a tremendous amount of excitement that rebuilds enthusiasm about our profession and what we do on a daily basis. And so on a positive side, it re-energizes you. I think it also, the connections you make with people reminds you that some of the struggles we have as coaches and some of the particular things, sometimes we feel like we're the only ones who have issues with our teams. You kind of hear and share stories with others where sometimes that doesn't happen in a collegial setting, depending on what level you coach at. So again, the relationships and just re-energizing you in your profession is super valuable, and it's a great time.
Lisa or Vince, thoughts on your experience?
No, I really thoroughly enjoyed my courses, to the fact that now that I've been through all of them, I want there to be new ones so that you can get back in that environment again. I think that's probably why I do the instructing, is because the environment that is created at these residential courses is just so unique.
And Vince?
Yeah, no, just to add on to what everyone said, I mean, it's just the opportunity to network and to relate to other coaches that are kind of in your situation. I was also, and then you're also learning from really, really talented individuals at the course. I mean, I was blessed to have Shella Simon for my first ever national diploma, and I was a young 23-year-old coach that, that he helped and he guided me, and from there, I mean, and what's great about the NSCAA is that just because he was an instructor didn't mean that I couldn't never connect with him afterwards and after the course, and we stayed in touch for all these years. So that to me is, in addition to collaborating with fellow candidates, it's also the opportunity in the future to have a relationship with these instructors too, because we're all in this game together. So we all want to see it get to new heights.
Now, one way I've heard an NSCAA residential described was a sleepaway camp for coaches. So
fantasy camp. Fantasy camp.
Fantasy camp. I mean, how would you describe it in like a phrase of like 5 or 7 words? Something like that. Anyone? I see the wheels turning.
Well, I don't know if it's 5 words or less, but it is a fantasy camp where you're so immersed in soccer and you're in this little world that it's great to kind of escape, and so it's but escape for a good reason, in that it's an educational reason. So
yeah.
I think people call it camp because our most of our courses in the summer are held on university campuses.
Oh, yeah.
Living in a dorm environment again brings us kind of back to our college days that we all probably remember very fondly. So, throwing the word that it's a camp for adults, that certainly brings that feel. But it's a unique environment where you're forced to spend a lot more time together in a dormitory setting where you're right next to each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The collegiality definitely comes out, and I see it carry off over into the seasons with coaches, where people who are competing against each other will still share thoughts and ideas on how they do things. Not give away their innermost secrets as far as their tactical organization for a certain game, maybe, but it's still very interesting how I think the soccer community, and I'm sure others are, but soccer for sure is very unique that way, in that people are always willing to share with each other.
Yeah. Lisa,
I don't know if I have anything else to add that will. Or I think the key is that the opportunity is unique, and that the relationships you make and develop over that week is something that'll stay with you for a lifetime. So.
And Lisa, we'll start with you on this question. You kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, but what is the experience like for an instructor at these courses? Because you guys are there, the week long, along with the our candidates as well. What's that like for you?
Yeah, I think it's it's fun because you're getting to get up there in front of people that are essentially your peers. I don't, obviously all instructors have a certain level of experience, but you're sitting in a room with people that are doing coaching every day. You're sharing ideas, and I'll come away from the week with new ideas, a different way to do some things. So at the same time that you're giving, you're also receiving, and it also helps you really start to formulate, especially when I was a younger coach, to really put down on paper or in a PowerPoint or however you're going to present it on the field, this is how this needs to be done, and really come up with clearer ways of doing things that then make you more successful when you go back into your environment too. So I enjoy the week. It's important for me to make sure that I have a course or two on my yearly schedule so that I get the opportunity to share and to take back things.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
As an instructor, I think it's exciting to have to, when you see who watches you do your sessions, you always want to be on top of your game. But I find the most valuable is when you sit and talk after your sessions, not just with the candidates, but also with their staff, and the real constructive way that they give you some ideas of things to do, a little different, or just asking you why you did something a certain way. I always tell people that at the courses, I don't care if they don't agree with anything I say at the course, as long as they can really think about why the way they want to do it differently is best for them and their players, then I've still created an educational environment. And so I really look forward to that every time I'm doing a session. And the day that gets old is the day that I'll be stepping out.
Yeah, and just to kind of add on to George's comments, I mean, I think as instructors we all learn from each other. We all like learning from each other. Otherwise we wouldn't be in this profession. So in what we do, and that's coaching and teaching. So for me personally, I think it's great to just learn from each other, and like George was saying, get feedback from peers. But also I like being around people that, and the term user-friendly comes to mind, but I like to say the words other-centered. I like being around people that are other-centered and that they're trying to help coaches get better, because to make sure that kids don't walk around, for example, with a hole in their heart. So it's more than just X's and O's, but Y's. And so for me, that's as an instructor, that's what I always get out of it when I always leave a course.
I like that term, other-centered. I want to use that sometime. Kim, any addition or thoughts?
Sure. The collegial setting is this is such a unique thing that our sport does in terms of this coaching education, and the opportunity to come together with colleagues that we often don't see in this big country on a regular basis is really fun for our staff. I know that's a big piece of it, is who we get to hang out with, and certainly all the relationships we have with the candidates is super fun, and you cross paths with them. When I'm out recruiting, I run into coaches all the time that have been to our courses, and it's just a great connection. It makes you feel good about sharing ideas and improving coaches' lives in terms of what they're doing and how we do things, and making our players better. It's just a really unique experience.
Great. And this question was emailed in from Greg in Florida, and he currently has his national diploma, and he's deliberating between taking the advanced national or beginning the track through U.S. soccer. He doesn't want, obviously to rate either one, because we don't know, there's plenty of different, similarities and differences. But so, just your thoughts on, I guess, the differences he can expect from either the USSF track versus the NSCAA track, and just more information for him to make a decision.
Well, certainly I'll take that one, I guess, at least to get it started. A lot depends on what he's already done with the Federation in terms of their licensing, because their new standards state that they have to start, they can't come in the middle of things from the NSCAA, where there used to be a pathway from the NSCAA courses to the Federation. That does not exist anymore, going in that direction. So that depends on, so if he doesn't have his F or his E or his D, that he might have to start from there and go forward on if he's just been doing the NSCAA courses. But a lot depends on really what he's trying to do eventually. I mean, I think if you're a young coach and you're looking at really getting involved in the professional game down the road at that really high end, you definitely want to do your licensing through the U.S. Soccer Federation. It'll be a requirement for that to be at that level. If you're looking to continue to grow, both organizations can do it just as well as the other. Certainly, we're biased on the way the NSCAA does things. We think we have a pretty good menu of courses and opportunities, and the players will certainly benefit from it.
And I should clarify, I'm sorry, he's currently a high school soccer coach, and he wants to be a Calif college head coach. So sorry about that.
I think one thing that's really important as you're looking at what courses you should be taking is not whether or not you hit one pathway and continue along that pathway, or whether or not you use some of the NSCAA courses to prepare you to be successful within the USSF thing. So what is his experience level? How prepared does he feel currently to take that next course? And can the NSCAA be some place for him to make sure that he goes in and is prepared and ready to be successful at the USSF course? Because again, that's a licensing course. If there's a little bit of a pass-fail to it, and you want to go in and be ready to pass. So NSCAA is here to help prepare you for those courses.
Any other thoughts?
No, I tend to. I mean, just going to add on to what Lisa said. I mean, basically they should complement each other a little bit, and you'll get value out of both of them, but it just depends on what you're seeking. So, yeah, and also to add on to Lisa's comment, the U.S. Soccer is more about assessment, but yet they also educate too as well, and the NSCAA is also about assessment, but again, just at a varying degree. So, yeah, I mean, and again, going back to Georgia, the coach basically just has to decide what pathway they want to go towards.
Right.
Monique, if you do look at a lot of job descriptions for college positions, they'll often say one or the other. So either pathway can help that individual out, and it's really more about the experience, the volunteer work that person might do at soccer camps for a college coach, to get around the college program as much as possible, possibly have to start out as a volunteer at the college level just to start to gain some experience. There's a lot of different things that you can do on top of the coaching education side to help posture yourself to get involved with a college program.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a whole lot of integrated things that he can do, and that's great. So that means everyone has options. So we'll start, since you're on the big screen. What advice do you have for coaches taking a residential course in January?
Well, first off, even though participation isn't required, we certainly do need to have them to play a little bit. So, a little bit of exercise maybe prior to is okay, but we certainly have candidates that are our courses that cannot participate, and that's never a problem for coming through an NSCAA course. But at the same time, I would say brush up a little bit on the principles of play, that both the attacking and the defensive side, because those are the core to any training session that you're going to put together, and come with the idea that you're willing to try some new things, to learn from new people, to experiment with different methodologies, because that's what we do at all of our different courses. We allow the coaches to have some freedom of different ways of which they want to present their topics, and build from there.
Kim?
I think a great idea is to go look at the curriculum that they're going to be presented the first day, because we often hear they wish they had the information prior to the course of what was going to happen during the week, what the sessions are, and what their expectations are. So I think they can go online and download each book, the curriculum for the course, so they can get an idea of what's going to be expected, how many teaching sessions they're going to have to do. They can even have a brief look at possible topics and how things are laid out. I think that's would be super valuable to look ahead study it before going.
And we do have that information. It's not on nsca.com/live, but if you wait until after this session or the recording is up and refresh the page, we'll make sure to have the link to those booklets that you can download and take a look so you can prepare, like Kim mentioned. Lisa, advice for coaches taking a course in January?
Yeah, I just think come with an open mind. I think a lot of times we kind of find our own way and we get set and think, okay, this is the way. But the great thing about soccer is that there isn't one formation, there isn't one thing that works. There's a million things that work. And so I think even when people maybe seem like they're going off track, you kind of pay attention, be ready to listen, and just give what the instructors are saying, what your peers are saying, time to sink in and really formulate with you, because you really might pick something up that's new and can change how you look at the game. But people that come in with a set mindset and this is the way, they usually get less out of it. They still get a ton out of it, but they usually get less out of it. So come with an open mind and ready to just take things in. You don't have to use them all, but you're ready to take things in.
Vince?
Just all three of them mentioned ways to prepare. It definitely doesn't hurt, especially after the holidays, to do some physical activity anyway, and also to so you can get be prepared a little bit by researching, looking at the curriculum, and also definitely having an open mind. But lastly, reach out to those that have taken an NSCAA course and ask them of their experience and just their insights from a candidate perspective, and a lot of times that will help too.
Yeah. And then lastly, for coaches considering taking the January course and just haven't pulled the trigger yet, why should they just go ahead and sign up and join us either in Sacramento or in Sunrise? Vince?
Well, if they're in the Midwest, it's a great time to get away. January, so I'm one of those two areas. So no, it's a good opportunity. For example, when I went through it, as a young coach, to learn how to organize my knowledge and to be able to learn as a coach how to transfer my knowledge into understanding as a coach, because I think that's what a lot of coaches battle with, and I think that's what the courses on all levels, the Premier, Advanced, National, that's what they'll teach you as a coach to do, how to be able to take your knowledge and to transfer that into an understanding that your players can get.
Lisa? Yeah, I mean, I've never had anybody come and take the course and go, wow, I wish I hadn't have spent that money or hadn't have done that. Plenty of times we get to the convention and people are talking about the courses and how things went, and people are saying, I wish I had gone, I was going to go, but I didn't go. So don't be one of those people that's regretting it after the fact, because there'll be great courses in both locations.
Kim?
Not all our courses offer the opportunity to be around all three courses, and unique in the Florida course where there's the goalkeeping course as well. So the numbers of coaches that you're going to have the opportunity to be around with a national, advanced national, and a premier course all going on at the same location. I know here in Sacramento the fields are also all within just a stone's throw of each other, if not right next to each other. So you have an opportunity to connect with more people. You have an opportunity to see more staff coaches. You're staying in a very nice hotel, which is a little different than the summer courses, and it's just a different time to re-energize and be around all three levels, plus possibly the goalkeeping. So I think that's unique.
Yeah. George?
Yeah, I think one thing that a lot of us come from, we're seeing a lot more very talented players coming into coaching, people that have played at a very good level, played for great coaches, but sometimes just learning how to tie it all together, as Vince was talking about with organization. If I hear anything that's pretty consistent over the years, is how much better organized I am and how much my players have seen a difference in what organization does for it, and that can be done at any any coaching education opportunity that you do, but certainly it's something that we try to take pride in with our NSCAA academies.
Mm-hmm. One last question before we hang up. Georgie, remind me of this. So the type of coaches that are coming into these courses, so we have the National, Advanced National, Premier, and the Advanced Goalkeeping. What can coaches expect as far as different levels, and how should they feel about interacting with those type of different levels, whether they're in high school, college, youth, whatever?
Well, soccer is soccer, and no matter what level you're coaching at, it's still the same game. Certainly, there are a lot of opportunities that we have during the week that we get the high school people together, we get the college people together, we get the youth coaches together, so they can talk about common issues that they have in their game and around their game, probably more so than actually in the game. So that's a big piece of it. Certainly, at the National Diploma, you're going to see probably a greater variety of coaches because it's our introductory level for the older age players, and so you're going to see coaches from all different levels, from almost high-level rec programs to college coaches to even professional coaches that have been in our courses before. So certainly that exposure to all the different levels is extremely valuable.
Perfect. Anyone else have anything to add to that?
No, we can't say it in George's very white voice, but no, we're good. I'm good.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for your really great insight on these courses in January, and I hope everyone who's watching got a lot out of it. So that's all we had the time for today. So if you are planning to take one of these residential courses in January, either in the Sunrise, Florida, or Sacramento, California, be sure to register by Friday, December 6th, and that is the date when the price increases. So make sure to get that registration in now. And then a recording of this chat will be available immediately afterwards. You can either view it here, well, if you're watching on nsca.com/live, or on our YouTube page. Just search for NSCAA and your channel should come up. And then there's some links that will be linked a little later on, so to the curriculum, so you just can see what you can expect, as well as some contact information for these 4 panelists. So if you have additional questions or just want to pick their brain or just connect with them, either Twitter handles or their NSCAA email addresses will be posted to our website as well. One more thing I want to remind you of, we have one more hangout coming up in the next few days, and that will be this coming Monday, November 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern. And that hangout is about our new e-learning series, NSCAA Small-Sided Games Diploma, 4v4, 7v7, 9v9. And so this diploma course is designed to help coaches implement U.S. Soccer's new Small-Sided Games Player Development Initiative. So Ian Barker and Dave Newberry will be on that one, so be sure to join in, and that's it. So thank you again for tuning in, and we will see everyone in January. Yeah, we'll see everyone in January. Bye-bye.
Great.
Bye-bye.